When you hear a show tune from the great white way, does a shiver run through ya? Well, we're giving them to ya. Sing hallelujah and shout hooray. Come on along and listen to Broadway to Main Street. USA.
Saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me sing a prayer for someone I really could care for. And then there suddenly appeared before me the only one my arms will ever hold. I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. When I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me sing a prayer for someone I really could care for. And then there suddenly appeared before me the only one my arms will ever hold. I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own.
Well, that song Blue Moon is one of the classic songs of the American musical theater canon and is wafting its way around this Oscar season. Hello, this is Larry Maslon, your host for Broadway to Main Street here on 88.3 WLIW FM, Long Island's only signature, one-of-a-kind, bewitched, bothered, and bewildered NPR station. Well, Blue Moon, as I mentioned, is a title of Rodgers and Hart's biggest hit, or certainly one of their biggest hits, recorded by almost 1,000 artists since 1935, and is the title of a film by Richard Linklater about I wouldn't say the life of Larry Hart, I would say one evening in the life towards the end of Larry Hart's life. It's got a tremendous portrayal at the center by Ethan Hawke. And of course, it has the music of Rodgers and Hart, certainly mentioned and referred to and suggested all throughout that movie, as well as other composers from that particular period. But today, we are going to honor that film, which I had some quibbles with, but try to put it into context. So today is Blue Moon, Larry Hart, Lorenz Hart, Part 1. So Larry Hart in two parts. He would have liked that. It sort of rhymes. Larry Hart was born in 1895 in the upper part of New York, and was quite a wag, quite a very funny fellow at Columbia University. And around 1918, he teamed up with a youngster, a teenager at that point, named Richard Rodgers, to become one of the most immortal song duos in American history. He was about 7 years older. And they were a very mismatched pair, as the movie Blue Moon points out. Larry Hart was a diminutive fellow who liked to drink and carry on and stay out all night. Rodgers was a family man and a dutiful workhorse who liked to get down at the piano, Larry, let's get to work. And that was always his mantra. They struggled along. They had a show in 1919. They had a show in 1920 that was rewritten by Sigmund Romberg, and they kind of vanished from the Broadway scene until 1925, until they came up with this song, which is referred to in the movie as the song that made them and made the Theater Guild, who produced a show called the Garrick Gaieties. And almost overnight, they were transformed from rather a despondent pair into one of certainly Broadway's greatest of the 1920s and beyond. Here is a song that made them, put them over the top. It's a recording I like. We're going to do some historical recordings and over, the time in which they lived and after and so on and so forth. This is from an Ed Sullivan show, tribute to Richard Rodgers in Carnegie Hall, I think 1962. And it is sung by Peggy Lee and Steve Lawrence. Why it wasn't Edie, I don't know, but it's sung as the duet in the way it was written, for which modem it was written, which you rarely hear. At any rate, wonderful rendition of Manhattan.
Summer journeys to Niagara and to other places aggravate all our cares. We'll save our fares.
I've a cozy little flat in what is known as Old Manhattan. We'll settle down right here in town.
We'll have Manhattan, the Bronx and Staten Island too.
It's lovely going through the zoo.
It's very fancy on old Delancey Street, you know.
The subway charms us so
When balmy breezes blow to and fro. And tell me what street compares with Mott Street in July.
sweet push carts gently gliding by.
The great big city's a wondrous toy, just made for a girl and boy. We'll turn Manhattan into an Isle of Joy. We'll go to Greenwich, where modern minutes to be free.
And Bowling Green you will see with me.
As black as onyx, we find the Bronx Park Express.
Our Flatbush flat, I guess, will be a great success.
More or less, I'd like to take a sail on Jamaica Bay with you.
And fair Canarसी's lakes we will view. The city's clamor can never spoil the dreams of a boy and girl. We're gonna turn old Manhattan into an Isle of Joy.
greenery where God paints the scenery, just two crazy people together. While you love your lover, let blue skies be your coverlet. When it rains, we laugh at the weather. And if you're good, I'll search for wood so you can cook while I stand looking. Bees could get no keener reception in a beanery, bless our mountain greenery home. Where God pays the scenery, just two crazy people together. Ah, we love sequestering where no pests are pestering, no deep mama holds us together. Mosquitoes here won't bite you, dear. I let them sting me on the finger. We could find no cleaner retreat from life's machinery than our mountain greenery home.
That was Lee Wiley. Miss Lee Wiley, as she is referred to on the record, and boy, do I miss Lee Wiley. That was the 1926 answer to Manhattan Mountain Greenery from the Garrick Gaieties. And Lee Wiley was one of the first people, maybe the first artist to do an all Rodgers and Hart album in 1940. It's from a little later album, but we recognize Lee Wiley as a pioneer in the work of Rodgers and Hart. By 1930-31, they had moved to Hollywood. That's also referred to in the movie as not a very successful period, with the exception of the song Blue Moon, which had many different iterations before it became Blue Moon. Here is the great Bobby Short, who also did a Rodgers and Hart album, I think a 2 LPs, singing about what life was like in Hollywood, courtesy of Lorenz Hart and Richard Rodgers.
Hollywood party, get out, get in it. Hollywood party, nobody sleeps tonight. Bring along your girl, go home with someone else's. Forget about your girl, she's gonna do all right. We'll be kicking our heels up till the rooster is crowing. Bring the automobiles up, everybody is going. Hollywood party, going a mile a minute. Hollywood party, nobody sleeps tonight. What do the sirens scream for? Why all the crowd? What do the lights all gleam for? Horns toot out loud. Traffic is so making noise out near the old Pacific. Girls tell their boys, come and wear your white tie. It's the right tie for tonight. I meet you at that noisy, girlsy and boysy Hollywood party. All the minks and sables, wine with labels, garbo gables greet you. Taxi, send us to a tremendous Hollywood party. All the girls wear ermine coats they got from men. And tomorrow they must give them back again. Let the laughter spring out, music ring out, Satan sing out, hotcha at that crashing, furniture smashing Hollywood party. Hollywood party. Hollywood party. Get up, get out, get in it. Hollywood party. Nobody sleeps tonight. Bring along your girl. Go home with someone else's. Forget about your girl. She's gonna do all right. We'll be kicking our heels up till the rooster is crowing. Bring the automobiles up. Everybody is going. Hollywood party. Going a mile a minute. Hollywood party. Nobody sleeps tonight. Da 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 da.
Well, the Hollywood party didn't work out too well for Rodgers and Hart. Supposedly they read a newspaper sitting around the pool that said, whatever happened to Rodgers and Hart? So they came back to Broadway, which welcomed them with open arms in the mid-1930s. The Boys from Syracuse was a big hit for them, an adaptation of Shakespeare, and it had an initial album from Decca, which I just love. It's not quite a cast album because it's not sung by anybody from the cast, but it's 6 songs, including this one sung by Rudy Valley, which has nothing to do with being a pop hit and everything to do with representing the incredibly imaginative wit of Larry Hart, music by Richard Rodgers.
There was an old zany who lived in a tub. He had so many flea bites he didn't know where to rub. He kept looking for an honest man, said I'm going to find him if I can. If I could meet Diogenes today, this is what I'd say. Rub-a-dub-dub, hop out of your tub, Diogenes. Oh, Diogenes, find a man who's honest. Oh, Diogenes, wrap him up for me. Oh, Diogenes, find a man who's stolid, solid. Hook that fish if he's in the sea. Hunt him, trail him, catch him, nail him, if he is free. Have you got your stick? Have you got your lantern? Can you do the trick and produce him, please? Catch that fellow, ring that bell, oh, Diogenes. Just go a-looking and a-hunting for him, catch him, nail him, if he is free. Have you got your stick? Have you got your lantern? Can you do the trick and produce him, please? Yes, catch that fellow, ring that bell, oh, die out the knees.
Nobody's heart belongs to me. Hi-ho, who cares? Nobody writes his songs to me. No one belongs to me. That's the least of my cares. I may be sad at times and disinclined to play, but it's not bad at times to go your own sweet way. Nobody's arms belong to me. No arms feel strong to me. I admire the moon as a moon, just a moon. Nobody's heart belongs to me today. I may be sad at times and disinclined to play, but it's not bad at times to go your own sweet way. Nobody's arms belong to me. No arms feel strong to me. I admire the moon as a moon, just a moon. Nobody's heart belongs to me today.
That was the incomparable Hildegard. I mean, all of, or most of, the great musicals that Rodgers and Hart wrote in the 30s did not have cast albums, but occasionally an artist doubled down, and this was a Decca, I think, 4-song recording on 78 of selections from By Jupiter, sung by Hildegard. Beautiful song, Nobody's Heart. Get the pun. Margaret Whiting is one of the titans of the American songbook. In 1947 in California, when she was singing for Capitol, courtesy of her great pal Johnny Mercer, who ran the label, she did another Rodgers and Hart album, 1947. That was really kind of rare, and sang this song from Babes in Arms. She was one of the first people ever to record it. Could you imagine? It took almost 12 years. Became an American classic.
You're my funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine. You make me smile with my heart. Your looks are are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? But don't change a hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. But don't change a hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day.
It seems we've stood and talked like this before. We looked at each other in the same way then, but I can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes you wore. The smile you are smiling, you were smiling then, but I can't remember where or when. Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems that we have met before and laughed before and loved before, but who knows where or when. For the first time seem to be happening again. So it seems that we have met before and laughed before and loved before, but who knows where or when.
Lena Lena Horne singing another great song from Babes in Arms, which was recorded maybe once or twice, but again, not really becoming a standard until 1948-49, when she recorded that beautiful version of Where or When. That's referred to in the movie Blue Moon. He talks about this feeling of deja vu. Wonderful performance by Ethan Hawke. Well, a show that isn't really mentioned at all in Blue Moon, but one that I kind of, love in my own weird fanboy kind of way, is I'd Rather Be Right, which was a Rodgers and Hart, Kaufman and Hart, Moss Hart, spoof about Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It's never been revived. And here are lyrics from the film Yankee Doodle Dandy, where Jimmy Cagney plays George M. Cohan playing Franklin D. Roosevelt. And these lyrics were never heard in the show. They were written expressly for the 1943 movie by Larry Hart.
It's really a wonderful job. For fellows like George, Abe, and me too. It's great to shake hands with a mob and to hold every kid on your knee too. Every word that I speak goes into headlines. When I speak, all the papers hold their deadlines. But I've found a way of dropping a hint or a glint of the truth that the boys cannot print. For instance, when I was courting Eleanor, I told her Uncle Teddy I wouldn't run for president unless the job was steady. Don't print it, strictly off the record. We entertained the royalty, but we were never flustered. We gave them Yankee hot dogs with Coleman's English mustard. Don't print it, strictly off the record. It's pleasant at the White House, but I'll tell you how I feel. The food is simply terrible, just sauerkraut and veal. If Mrs. R would stay at home, I'd get a decent meal. But that's off the record. To Hyde Park. It's not for just the ride there. It's not that I like Hyde Park, but I love to park and hide there. Don't print it, it's strictly off the record. I sit up in my study writing gags for Mr. Ickes and insults for the gentlemen who'd love to slip him Mickeys. Don't print that, off the record. I scrapped the Prohibition Act when we required a bracer and finished up the Boulder Dam to give the boys a chaser. Don't print it, it's strictly off the record. And for my friends in Washington who complain about the taxes, who cares as long as we can knock the axe out of the axes? Don't print it, it's strictly off the record. I can't forget how Lafayette helped give us our first chance to win our fight for liberty, and now they've taken France. We'll take it back from Hitler and put ants in his Japans, and that's for the record.
Have you met Miss Jones? Someone said as we shook hands, she was just Miss Jones to me. So I said, Miss Jones, you're a girl who understands. I'm a man who must be free. And all at once I lost my breath, and all at once was scared to death, and all at once I owned the earth and sky. Now I've met Miss Jones, And we'll keep on meeting till we die, Miss Jones and I. Lost my breath, and all at once was scared to death, and all at once I on the earth and sky. So now I've met Miss Jones, and we'll keep on meeting till we die, Miss Jones, Miss Jones and I. Miss Jones and I. Miss Jones and I. Miss Jones and
Have You Met Miss Jones? That's the ballad from I'd Rather Be Right, and that's sung by the Hi-Lo's a little late in the game, I think in the early 50s, but one of the first recordings of that song, which has become a jazz standard. Well, Blue Moon is not the first time Larry Hart was in a movie. In fact, Larry Hart was in a little short called Masters of Melody back in the early 1930s himself, and then Mickey Rooney played him in the film Words and Music. Here is Mickey and Judy singing a Rodgers and Hart classic.
You don't know that I felt good when we up and parted. You don't know I knocked on wood, gladly broken-hearted. Worrying is through, I sleep all night, appetite and health restored. You don't know how much I'm bored. The sleepless nights, the daily fights, the quick toboggan when you reach the heights. I miss the kisses and I miss the bites. I wish I were in love again. The broken dates, the endless waits, the lovely loving and the hateful hates, the conversation with the flying plates. I wish I were in love again. No more pain, no more strain. Now I'm sane, but I would rather be gaga. The pulled out fur of cat and cur, the fine mismating of him and her. I've learned my lesson, but I wish I were in love again. The furtive sigh, the blackened eye, the words I'll love you till the day I die, the self-deception that believes the lie. I wish I were in love again. When love congeals, it soon reveals the faint aroma of performing seals, the double crossing of a pair of heels. I wish I were in love again. No more care, no despair. I'm all there now, but I'd rather be punch drunk. Believe me, sir, I much prefer the classic battle of him and her. I don't like quiet, and I wish I were in love again. The pulled out fur of cat and cur, the fine mismating of him and her. I've learned my lesson, but I wish I were in love again.
I'd paddle. Over the Rockies I would trail. I'd hark to the strains of cowboys in the saddle. Not very musical, but male. I've roamed o'er the range with a herd where seldom is heard an intelligent word. Get along, little taxi, you can keep the change. I'm riding home to my kitchen range, way out west on West End Avenue. Oh, I love to listen to the wagon wheels that bring the milk that your neighbor steals, way out west on West End Avenue. Keep all your mountains and your lone prairies so pretty. Give me the fountains that go wrong at Rodeo City. I would trade your famous deer and antelope for one tall beer and a cantaloupe, way out west on West End Avenue. Yippee-yi-yay! Get along, little elevator, climb once more to my lone shack on the 14th floor, way out west on West End Avenue. When the sun's a-rising over Central Park, I pull the blinds and it's nice and dark, way out west on West End Avenue. Redskins may battle with the tomahawks and axes. I'll join the cattle in the big corral at Sax's. Oh, the wild herd gathers when the moon is full. Not much buffalo, but lots of bull, way out west. Way out west, way out west on West End Avenue. Yippee-yi-yay!
The movie Blue Moon is all about opening night of Oklahoma, March 31st, 1943. And Larry Hart, clearly that was not the show for him. He found it kind of phony and not funny, and an aversion to cowboys in the West and coin is as high as an elephant's eye. But that was Mary Claire Harron, probably maybe his greatest interpreter, singing a song about way out west, but up there on West End Avenue. The movie, second half of the movie, talks about the next show that Rogers wanted Hart to write with him, which was a revival of 1927's Connecticut Yankee, based on a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. And eventually Larry Hart did. He still worked with Rogers after Oklahoma. Here are two of the songs from that show, which premiered in late 43. And we get Nancy Walker singing the comedy song that was written for Vivian Siegel.
I've been married, and often I've sighed. I'm never the bridesmaid, I'm always the bride. I never divorced them, I hadn't the heart. Yet remember these sweet words, till death us do apart. I married many men, a ton of them, and yet I was untrue to none of them, because I bumped off every one of them to keep my love alive. I caught Sir James with his protectoress, the rector's wife, I mean the rectoress. His heart stood still, angina pectoris, to keep my love alive. Sir Alfred worshipped falconry, he used to hunt at will. I sent him on a hunting trip, they're hunting for him still. Sir Peter had an incongruity, collecting girls with promiscuity. Now I'm collecting his annuity to keep my love alive, to keep my love alive. Sir Ethelbert would use profanity. His language drove me near insanity. So once again I served humanity to keep my love alive. Sir Curtis made me cook each dish he ate, and everything his heart could wish he ate, until I fiddled with the fish he ate to keep my love alive. Sir Marmaduke was awfully tall. He didn't fit in bed. I solved that problem easily. I just removed his head. Sir Mark adored me with formality. He called a kiss an immorality, and so I gave him immortality to keep my love alive, to keep my love alive.
You can count your friends on the fingers of your hand. If you're lucky, you have two. I have just two friends, that is all that I demand. Only two, just me and you. And a good friend needs a friend when a fellow needs a friend. Can't you do a friend a favor? Can't you fall in love with me? Life alone has lost its flavor. You could make it sweet, you see. I'm the dish you ought to savor, something warm and something new. I would do my friend a favor. I would fall in love with you. Can't you do a friend a favor? Can't you fall in love with me? Life alone has lost its flavor. You could make it sweet, you see. I'm the dish you ought to savor, something warm and something new. I would do my friend a favor. I would fall in love with you.
Can't You Do a Friend a Favor, one of the last songs written by Rodgers and Hart for a Connecticut Yankee. One can't help but feel the tug of their split friendship in that number. Here is a song that plays over the final credits of Blue Moon. It's sung by Tony Bennett, and I Hope You'll Come back next week for part 2. We have so many more Rodgers and Hart songs and great performers, but this is a song that sums up Larry Hart's viewpoint, at least as far as the filmmakers are concerned. This Funny World.
This funny world makes fun of the things that you strive for. This funny world can laugh at the dreams you're alive for. If you're beaten, conceal it. There's no pity for you. For the world cannot feel it. Just keep to yourself. Weep to yourself. This funny world can turn right around and forget you. It's always sure to roll right along when you're through. If you are broke, you shouldn't mind. It's all a joke, for you will find this funny world is making fun of you.
Well, where is the time all gone to? This is Larry Maslon here at Broadway to Main Street. Let's catch up next Sunday at 3.
There's so much more embracing still to be done, but time is racing. Oh, well, we'll catch up some other time.